India has to raise autonomy twice. Once to Dominion, once to go independent before they can raise manpower, but it will get some increase in manpower from sorting out the Muslim situation. True. Yeah, that has improved. They do have manpower again, 300,000. That was actually quite a big improvement in manpower. And now we're no longer starving for troops. Okay, good. Huzzah! Let's make sure we get all of the units upgraded that can be upgraded. We're still mass producing destroyers. We can probably add a bunch more. Yeah, we can. Actually, where do all my little cruisers go? Oh, that's these guys. Because I meant them to be in that fleet, not in the carrier fleet. It's my capital ship reserve, it's my carrier reserve, and it's my screen reserve. Kazoo Raptor, thank you very much for the Mordling subscription. Welcome to the Mordlings. Wow, I said that completely wrong. Thank you very much for the subscription. Welcome to the Mordlings. There we go, got there eventually. India's core manpower is so huge that 0.1% improvement in available manpower is 700,000 men. Well, considering India had about 2 million men in the Second World War, they are massively under that in this. Let's get the Grand Battle Fleet. We are now going to crush anything at sea. If we finish that off, then it's done. It's over. Alright, Germany is now getting war with France. Poland has again moved troops to the border. They still have troops on the border with the Soviets. Are the Soviets still coming for us? Yes.
Ready.
It's that song again! Alright, gun situation is sorted. Support equipment situation is actually getting pretty good. Let's deploy you. Start you training. Why was I training 5? I only need 3. Also, I just realised that we had not actually finished training. I'm sure this will be fine.
Commands.
Prepare for the inevitable is done. 3 research bonus for doctrine. We should probably do that, actually. I don't know who Gilbert Stevenson is. So let's do Britannia Rules the Waves to get the doctrine bonuses. Because we still need to do the submarine doctrine, so we're not done yet. And then these last 2 escorts, which are mostly to do with carriers, but they still have escort efficiency bonuses. From what I remember, India's only really fully useful if you free them or annex them, but things might have changed. It's been a while. Yeah, that's what I assume. I just kind of wish that there was a little bit more you could do with them. I suspect it's a balancing act to prevent the UK from just having an unbeatable position at the start of the game. Oh yeah, undoubtedly. But having them where they can like bring India online over time as opposed to nothing and then everything would be a better way of doing it. And especially because if anyone else annexes India, they get everything. If like Germany beats Britain, annexes India and then releases India as a puppet, no penalties. They are only penalised if they're a British puppet, and that's the problem. If it was a local penalty, and the provinces as opposed to a national penalty, I think that would work a lot better. I mean, it was a big growth for the Indian army. It was 190 to 200,000 men in 39 to 2.5 million in 45, and all volunteers. It would be pretty hard to balance, but badly represented. I guess the way to do that would be population factor. Keep them on volunteer only, but population factor. Like they kind of do with the marginalised Muslims, they just don't... It's not big enough. It's still too heavily penalised. And was India having a famine the entire time that Second World War was on? Because I know that's where the big penalty comes from. Oh, they haven't even had the famine, still risk of famine. Agrarian society, 69% recruitable population factor. See, they just need a way to mitigate that. Bring it down to like 50% or something. Just over time, probably with British investment. Maybe not even.
Ready.
Okay, you guys are ready. Germany is almost ready. My air forces are over here. Excellent. Navies are ready. Let's go and make sure that our transport fleets are good to go. Damn it. Wait, you are showing 20. Oh, it's because these are screens, not escorts. Those are escorts, those are escorts. Yeah, okay, fair enough. And I don't need you patrolling that. And I don't want my recons patrolling that. And I think I am going to get a couple more of these. Because we do have them. And then this fleet is going to be the Mediterranean fleet. And base you in Alexandria. So we are actually going to have a fleet in place to fight against the Italians from the start of the war. As we're not going to be trying to defend the Baltic.
Attention.
You guys are still drilling. Why did I train 5 of you? I only needed 3. What were you doing past Mordred? I don't understand. Bengal famine was 43 to 44 large disruptions in food due to the fall of Burma and then the lack of rice. Why is Germany still only angrily shaking their fist at Poland? I don't know. Nicolinus. I used my pro-economy to build them up for an early annex into a Federation powerhouse later, but as stated, things may have changed. Yeah, Federation seems to be a bit too powerful. They've nerfed the puppets too much. Especially with the change to the Dominion where it doesn't use Dominion manpower now. Norway wants to join the Allies. Absolutely. Welcome. Ah! And we finished building stuff. Do we have any other radar to do? Nope. Actually pretty happy with my radar situation. In that case, I would say it's time for us to start militarizing. This is earlier than I had wanted, but... Actually, you know what? Let's go and finish that infrastructure. Then I'm really tempted to try and finish off a little bit of Indian infrastructure. You know what? If this finishes before the war starts, we'll queue that up once the war begins. Let's get the infrastructure done. Norway has joined the Allies. Earlier today, the United Kingdom and Norway issued a joint statement about the latter have now been formally granted member status in the Allies. Mike Rhesus, thank you very much for the follow. Welcome to the channel. Always invest in more steel factories. Oh, I forgot that's a thing. This is new for me. Does this... count as a factory? No, because it says specifically military and civilian factories, doesn't it? In that case, yeah. Okay. We can only do one. Oops. And then we won't do Scotland, not yet. Do that. And we'll start on those. Would be funny if Germany attacks France and then gets crushed by the Polish divisions in the east. Yeah, if the Soviets weren't justifying on Poland as well, I suspect that we would be in a pretty strong position, actually. 1940, let's upgrade artillery. Because Poland has actually got a pretty big military. It's just the... You have a war goal against France. Use it. Come on, Germany, you big wimp. They just don't want to do it. Like, no, I'm scared. Mexican oil has been nationalized. Lazaro Cardenas has been stirring up popular nonsense aimed at our economic interests in Mexico. And now the Partido Revolucionario Institucional has passed legislation to nationalize the assets of Royal Dutch Shell, Standard Oil of California, and many other international oil firms. Although their constitution allows this action, international justice demands compensation for the losses suffered by the firms. The oil barons are demanding we act. Embargo them until they come to their senses. But that does screw up my oil supply. In fact, the other thing I do need to do is increase infrastructure in my oil producers. Which is Trinidad. It's Egypt, but that doesn't really produce a huge amount. That would be India. That's not actually going to us. That's also Malaya. Right, I forgot I was upgrading Africa. That does need to go first. Well, that's all I can do. The other option is to work on these. We need excavation 3 to get this one. We can do that. 2, 3, 2. I mean, that's fairly easy to manipulate, actually, because you can just go straight for extraction 3. These should be not parallel, they should be serial because of those focuses and the way they work. Believe it counts for the factory total when it comes to consumables and does not improve with roads. The steel mills, you mean? I was more talking about the fact that factories are massively penalised. So under a civilian economy, military factory construction speed, civilian factory construction speed. That's why I never build them when I have civilian economy. I did not know if steel mills are affected by that. But as it says specifically those two, I don't think so. You can just go ahead and build them. And now we're going to need to start buying some from the US, probably. Oil. Oh, yeah, right. It wasn't a focus. What is Germany doing? Someone was saying last time I was streaming this, have I ever done a passive game where I just don't go to war? I think we might be about to. And it was completely unintentional. In fact, no, let's keep you in a separate unit. And then have you training. In fact, we've been losing factories, not gaining. How have we been? Oh, because Malaya changed laws. Damn it. But I think that's okay, actually. It's not a huge problem. The Brnovina of Croatia. As a result of the continuing increasing problems with Croatian nationalist elements, the Yugoslav government has necessitated to grant increased autonomy to the Croatians. A new semi-independent state, the Brnovina of Croatia, has been called into being, and though it is still nominally a dependency of Yugoslavia, the government's influence in the region has now been greatly reduced. Let's do Destroyer Focus and see what this Recall Gilbert Stevenson's all about. Modern battleships are marvels, but we must not neglect the critical role of the humble destroyer in the protection of convoys. See you, Marshal. Why don't I lend-lease Malaya and annex them? Because I hate manipulating mechanics like that. Like, if I was lend-leasing them and they were at war, sure. If I was going to do it, I'd do it through the focus. Just feels a bit weird to lend-lease and get their independence taken away. Like, building up factories and stuff. Yeah, okay. Because that actually has a cost. The government of Lazo Cardenas has agreed to the demands from Royal Dutch Shell and Standard Oil of California for compensation in exchange for the losses sustained by the firms during their nationalization. United Mexican States will not give back any oil concessions, but our national prestige and financial interests are at least satiated. Yeah, okay. That was a fairly significant loss of oil. As my oil reserves are proving. Though I'm still a little bit surprised I'm using so much. Maximum consumption of the Navy is 27,000 a day. Oh, it's because all of my destroyers are at sea. That's why. Oops, no, don't do that. Just head home. It's fine. There we go. Now we're burning. Okay, battlefield support. Finished. Am I still training aircraft? Nope. Probably could have done the focus sped up. Never mind.
Ready!
I'm going to guess Gilbert Stevenson would have something to do with sub-hunting, since he was recalled to run a sub-warfare school in World War II. I think he was one of the first uses of hydrophones to find subs. Ah, interesting. Okay, so the Soviet Union has declared war on Poland, which means that we are ostensibly going to be at war with the Soviets. Decryption, for sure. There's the call to arms. Naval treaty abrogated. With the outbreak of war, the Swedish government has officially informed the remaining signatories of the London Naval Treaty that under Article 24 it considers the restrictions of the Naval Treaty to no longer be in the national interest. The Swedish ambassador has therefore announced that the Naval Treaty will be suspended for the duration of the war. Well, at least we tried. Oh, France is going to get called in against the Soviets and is going to abandon the line against the Germans, isn't it? I just know it is. don't think you're going as I thought would. Alright, destroyers. Off you go. Lend-lease from America, lend-lease from France. This is so anticlimactic. This is weird. Gonna get encryption at the same time, I think. Soviets have lost 34,000 men already. Crikey. Watching Maginot. Polish-Romanian alliance. The Poles and Romanians have announced a renewed commitment to each other's defence. Although good relations have existed between the two nations for well over a decade now, today's announcement indicates a policy of mutual defence. So does that mean Romania's at war with them as well? Let's call everyone in. Just finding Soviet subs right now. 20 destroyers defending 1 convoy. Efficiency. Yep, Poland completely abandoned their front with Germany. $75,000 losses. 80,000. 82,000. Look at those numbers go up. This is horrific. Germany increased their intrigue and decreased warmongering in this scenario. Yeah, apparently. Shadow scheme factories are in use. Cool. Oh, we're at war. Right. Let's go to total mobilization. And we're going to go to extensive conscription straight away. We're also going to get better tanks. Going with the armor. Wait, could I get aircraft? No, ships. That's fine. And now we're going to cancel all the steel mills because I'm not actually short on that. And we're going to start industrializing heavily. I'm going to reduce all of these by 1 so that I can build steel mills if I need to. Because we do often run short of steel. Russia declares war first. Yeah, exactly. This is bizarre. And the Poles are doing pretty well against them. Oops. And now my and Germany's industries are mobilized. Now they're claiming Alsace-Lorraine. What? They've already got the war with France, CB. What are you doing, Germany? Seriously, what? I don't get it. You're weird. Are we going to jump in the war against the Soviets? No. Because I'm expecting France to abandon their front line. I do not trust the AI. And as soon as they do, Germany go, ooh, free front line and declare war. I am amazed that Germany has not jumped into this. Like, this is completely clear. My fuel supply is getting used up very, very quickly. Oh, it's because all of my planes are in the air over here, isn't it? Yeah.
the move.
So be it. And also just the fact that I lost a bunch of my fuel import. Buy from Canada first. And then Malaya. And British Raj. Destroyer focus. Finished. Cool. Oh yeah, let's see what this recall Gilbert Stevenson was all about. Have more than 24 Navy experience, more than 24 political power. In order to face the renewed submarine threat, it's essential to rely on the expertise of older commanders who fought the German submersibles during the Great War. A veteran of anti-submarine warfare, Gilbert Stevenson is the ideal man to lead a new generation of sailors. Okay. Collect civilian aluminium utensils. No, we can't afford that just yet. When Gilbert Stevenson retired as a Rear Admiral from the Royal Navy in 1929, he was one of the foremost experts in anti-submarine warfare. When war broke out again, he was called back into service. Despite his years, he was born in 1878, he remained fit, healthy and energetic, and had the capacity to apply his incisive mind to whatever the Admiralty saw fit to assign him to. Historically, his key contribution was running the escort working up facility at Tobermory Bay, as pictured below with Stevenson, where he and his team put 911 ships through 1,132 training courses. He also played a role coordinating the evacuation of Dunkirk in 1940. How the hell did I read that wrong? As well as performed as Commodore on a number of convoys very early in the war. Tobermory, under Stevenson's guidance, played an important part in the Battle of the Atlantic, getting escorts out to sea quickly and with effective training. Stevenson's innovative but challenging techniques influenced the Royal Navy's post-war working up procedures, while also earning him the nickname the Terror of Tobermory. Anti-sub expert, political with sub detection, or give him a command at sea. I mean, that's a lot of submarine detection. We'll set you up in Tobermory. And you shall be ready to be employed when I am ready to employ you. I meant secure the Polish-German borders. The Germans didn't just walk into Warsaw, losing all the eastern forces. I don't want to risk it. Is that 13 divisions from Danzig? No. Oh, it's 12 French divisions.
Ready.
They now have three separate CBs. 2 against France and 1 against Poland, and they've still not done it. Yeah, and they can't do those until they're actually at war with France.
Ready, sir.
The problem is keeping this open for shipping. Although we do now have the Norwegians, and we could actually withdraw to Norway if we had to. I wonder if I can get Denmark into the alliance. Because if I can secure Denmark, then all of my problems in the Baltic are solved. I'm mostly worried about them just closing the strait.